Hello there. You guys are doing the skills review today, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of guidance on some of the questions. So on numbers 1 and 2, you're actually going to have test questions like this, and they are just missed all the time. So I wanted to give you some hints. First of all, when you look at this problem, see how this one is underlined and this one is not? I know that one of my lines is solid, this one that's underlined, and the other is dotted. So choosing this would be a bad choice because these are both dotted. This is one of each. These are both dotted. So before I even start trying to work it, I've got it narrowed down to a 50-50 shot. It's either B or D. And it's hard to tell by looking at the equations, but what you really need to do is get the y by itself and get the y by itself. So on this one, if I move that x over, then it turns negative, and it joins that 9. Ooh, that's an x. And I divide by 3. And this first line becomes y is less than negative 1/3 x plus 3. So less than negative 1/3 x plus 3, and it's dotted. This dotted line is not intersecting at 3, so I know it's not this, and really without even working anything else, I know it has to be this one. Okay, so use those hints. I'm going to let you guys do this one on your own. A couple of other things real quick. Just a reminder, when the problems have the inequality symbols, so the less than and greater than, that's when you shade and you're looking for the areas where they overlap. In order to graph these, you have to get the y by itself. Move the x over, divide by what's in front of the y. Move the x over. This one doesn't have anything in front of the y except for the understood 1. So once you move this 2x over and change the sign, that one's ready to graph. Quick reminder, if it has a less than or a less than or equal to, you shade below. If it has a greater than or a greater than or equal to, you shade above. Some people are still getting mixed up because your line could go this way with a positive slope, or it could go this way with a negative slope. This line going this way, this side is above, this side is below. If it's going this way, this is above, and this is below. One other thing that they seem to do to try to trick you guys sometimes, notice how this one doesn't have a y, it only has an x. It's been a minute since we've talked about this, but that makes a vertical line because there's only an x. So you have a vertical line at -2, which is right here. And it says less than. Well, less than is to the left, greater than is to the right. If this line only had a y and no x, it would have been horizontal. Okay, the other thing I wanted to remind you is that these two, they have equal signs. So you're doing them the same way as you did the ones above, except you're not shading. You only shade if they have greater than and less than signs. So you're going to graph these two lines, and you need to be really exact on it because you're looking for the point of intersection. Your answer is the ordered pair where they cross. Okay, same here. So get that y by itself, get that y by itself on all 4 of these, graph them, and find the point where they cross. All right, and then one last section on these. Same thing, you're just, instead of solving them by actually graphing them, you're going to solve these by using the calculator. So these are the calculator problems. You need to get the y by itself. This one's already by itself. Get the y by itself. Once you have both y's by themselves, you can enter them into the graphing calculators. Quick reminder to get to the y equals is right here. You can type both equations in, and then once you get them typed in, you will press second, and then trace, and then option number 5, and enter, enter, enter. And it is not the solution until it says down here, once you do that, like let me just put some pretend problems in here. These are not your equations, okay? These are just ones I'm making up. So if I do second trace 5, and remember you have to wait for these little wheels to stop rolling before you can press any other buttons. Now it says first curve, enter. Second curve, enter. Guess, enter. When it says intersection, that's my answer, and that's what I would put as my x, comma, y. If you need to zoom out, you would press zoom and then selection number 3 and enter and let it do its thing. When those stop rolling, if you still can't see what you need, press enter again, let it do its thing, and you can do that as many times as you need to until you can see where the lines are crossing. When you press graph and you see these real thick lines for your x and y axes, that means somebody has zoomed your calculator in a whole lot. You should be able to see the little tick marks on the axis. So if yours looks like this, you need to press zoom, and it's selection number 6. You want a standard window, and that puts it back. All right, you are turning this paper in before you leave today with all 10 of these problems worked, and then tomorrow we'll go over some study guides. Wednesday we'll go over some study guides, and Thursday we will have a test over this.